This is day 3 for SwiftUI. So now if you want to check out day 3 for regular Swift, it should be up by now. So day 3 is more complex compared to day 2. So as you can see here, I learned not only how to create the array, but also how to add things to it. You do dot append, it adds it to the array, but at the end. So that's why at first, if you look on the side here, I hate when this does this. It starts off as 3, but now it goes up to 5 because I added 2 more streaming sites to the array streaming sites. And then if you want to find a specific item in the array, you have to use its index. Now remember, back in the first day, I learned that when it comes to arrays, it starts off with 0 and then 1, 2. Even though in our eyes, we see 1, 2, 3. And I can also append stuff to an array even if it's empty, which is pretty cool. Now removing items is pretty interesting. The dot remove function does it, but it does it at a certain position, so at a certain index. And then remove all, self-explanatory, right? Removes everything from the array. Now to check to see if an item is in the array, you would do dot contain. So within countries, is there something called Mexico in it? And there is, so that's why it comes off as true. Now how to sort the arrays, you would do dot sorted, which means it would probably do it based off of alphabetical order, since you didn't give it a way for it to be sorted, right? Dot reversed, you could guess it, reverse the names however they see fit. How to store and find data in dictionaries. Now in this case, I decided to see an example that I saw online or in the curriculum, and they was basically stating when it comes to data itself, you want to use the right ones based off of the certain scenario that you're in. So arrays are great for lists, but when it comes to housing information that is a lot more in detail, you don't want to use an array. Because imagine if you was trying to create a character in a game and had their name, address, information, like everything under the sun, and it was just in a form of a list instead of you categorizing it based off of certain things, right? So that's why it just didn't make sense to me to do it this way. But this is where dictionaries comes in. Dictionary, you're able to have a key and a value. The key, name, level, location. The value is going to be their name, their actual level, and then their actual location. Kind of like how an actual dictionary works, where you have the word and then a definition, and then you peruse through the book in order for you to find the word, which is the key, and then the definition, which is the value. And the reason why this is complaining to me is not an error message, but it's a warning. So they don't know for sure if what I put in here actually exists. So it just wants me to catch it or create a case where if it doesn't exist, what should they do, right? Which is what I do here. So at the bottom here, I do, power, but then if it doesn't exist, just give me back unknown. So if I was to do this as well, it should stop crying. Opa! And same thing like before with the arrays, you can make it empty at first and then just give it values. So like how I did here, their heights, Yao Ming, Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James, and then this is their height. As far as sets are very unique. You can't have more than one that's the same. And I think when it comes to these data types, they're very good, but you have to use them in certain circumstances. Like it wouldn't be best to use a set if you want the information organized. If you want things to be unique and not be the same, this is where sets come in. Because imagine if you were trying to create a application for finding the best actors in the world, right? The actors' names are going to be very unique. They're not going to be the same. So you'll want a set, right? Instead of an array. Now in this case, here's how you can add things into the set. Since it doesn't have any order, it's going to just insert itself anywhere because the order doesn't matter for sets. Now enums are very interesting because from what I found out that you want to have a situation where if it comes to grouping certain things that are related to each other, you're going to want to do that. So for example, since I watch One Piece, there are these things called devil fruits, and these devil fruits are classified by these certain categories, right? You have Promisia, Zone, Logia. Now imagine if I wanted to create a character in One Piece that has one of these types. or, give it like a devil fruit name, right? Rather than me just typing out like the string and whatever the character is, I know I'm probably going to make a mistake later down the road. So why not just create a case where if everybody has this type of power, put them in that category. Now, annotations just basically means I'm going to give it a type before even giving you any value for it. Now, as far as the checkpoint, it basically asks me to write an array with strings, then write some code that prints out the number of items in the array, and then also the number of unique items in the array. That's what I did here. I did it based off my show, and this is what I got so far.